Today, we're diving into a popular post from the Reddit titled as "I for switching to regular milk to prove my lactose-intolerant roommate keeps stealing from me." This post received 46,206 upvotes. Posted by gotmilk_. The post reads as follows. Me and two other guys share an apartment together and we split all the bills. The only thing we don't split costs on is groceries. Everyone's in charge of buying their own food and we don't touch whatever doesn't belong to us in the fridge. We put our names on everything so no one gets mixed up. This issue has been going on almost a year and I'm sick of it. One of my roommates, R, keeps stealing my food. I get home from work and containers with my leftovers are sometimes missing. They have my name written on it, or my stuff finishes too quick. My gallon of milk, for example. I buy almond milk because I like the taste. But it seems to finish after a week even though I've only drank once or twice. I confronted R about this lots of times and that's caused a lot of arguments. He outright denies it and tells me I'm crazy even though it's so obvious. My other roommate and I carpool together because we both work the same early morning shifts around the same area, so I know it's not him. It's always after we get back home and R's already left for work that I notice my food's gone. My roommates also had a similar problem but not as often as I do. I'm guessing cause R doesn't like what he buys. The funny thing is R buys a lot for himself and is even more stingy about his food. He will literally point out what's his when he comes back from grocery shopping and tells us not to touch it. Last week, my milk was nearly empty again and I got fed up. I went to the liquor store and bought regular dairy milk. I drank what was left of my almond milk and refilled the gallon with the one I bought. This was to prove R is the one stealing since he's lactose intolerant. The NXT day, Saturday, we get back from work and R is pissed. He yelled at me that he was stuck in the bathroom for 40 minutes with diarrhea because of my milk. He was using it to make a shake. I only responded with, "So then you're the one who's been stealing." He freaking exploded. Yeah, he admitted he was, sometimes, drinking my milk and eating my food, but he was more mad that I switched milks than the fact that he was caught. I told him I wouldn't have done that if he just stopped taking my stuff from the fridge or at least told the truth instead of trying to make it seem like I was making it up. My roommate backed me up and thought it was kinda funny he got payback for stealing from us. It's a little tense RN and my roommate told me R is trying to convince him to agree to kick me out. Little does he know we're both looking to move somewhere else together cause we are sick of his shit. I told some buddies what happened and a few think I was an asshole for that. I feel like I'm not in the wrong here. He was taking my food and not even owning up to it and I wanted to prove it. Does that make me taw? A comment from user Flown Scepter says, NTA. The funny thing is R buys a lot for himself and is even more stingy about his food. He will literally point out what's his when he comes back from grocery shopping and tells us not to touch it. This, children, is called projection. He knows he's stealing food, and he figures the two of you are going to try and do it to him. Dick. This comment received 3,400 upvotes. A comment from user OMGs223 says, NTA. I read a story from Ask a Manager where something similar occurred. Op liked spicy food and food thief ate it, then reported Op to HR for trying to poison him. Eventually Op got fired after HR agreed with food thief. Op got a lawyer and story came out that HR and food thief were in a relationship. Company owner fired both offenders and hired Op back with increased pay. Dude sucks for stealing your food and I would have done the same thing. This comment received 7826 upvotes. A reply from the original author Gotmilk_ says, "Shit, that's wild, fearful face, damn, now I wish we could switch scenarios so I can get paid more instead of being stuck with him as a roommate, tears of joy." This reply received 2986 upvotes. A comment from user Janie__ says, NTA. As you said, if R wasn't stealing your food, he wouldn't have had a problem. This comment received 32,611 upvotes. A comment from user HCP56 says, NTA. It's your food. You could have put your medicine in it or even your pet's medication in it. You could have put a laxative in it or even syrup of ipecac. And I would still say NTA. When people steal food, lie about it and don't replace it, they reap what they sow. Food is expensive, especially milk substitutes. Without replacing the food, he was essentially stealing money from your wallet. This comment received 11,122 upvotes. A reply from the original author gotmilk_ says, "Oh yeah, it really is. I try to buy from grocery stores that sell all organic, so it does get pretty expensive." This reply received 4512 upvotes. A comment from user Annoyed Potato Lady says, "NTA, there is a saying in Finnish that translates to, 'The greedy ones have a shitty end,' and I think that's what happened here." This comment received 1052 upvotes. A comment from user Throwaway 13,168,751 says, "This story is incredible. Who can't tell the difference between almond milk and dairy milk?" This comment received 2499 upvotes. A reply from the original author gotmilk_ says, "He can't apparently. He was using it to make some kind of shake, so IDK." This reply received 1599 upvotes. A comment from user Fabo__HD says, "NTA, if he steals from you, he should face consequences, especially after you bringing it up to him. Why would he expect you buying and using products that accommodate to his health condition?" This comment received 1150 upvotes. A comment from user Sucks at Halo says, "NTA, he's stealing from you and you taught him a lesson. He'll have the shits, boo-hoo." This comment received 358 upvotes. A comment from user Kamikaze_Bacon says, "Speaking as a lactose-intolerant person, NTA. Dude had to learn a lesson. If drinking real milk would have killed him, or hospitalized him, then I'd say it was too far, and there should be a better way. But having to shit for 40 minutes is a hilarious, and fair, punishment. Well played, op. Well played." This comment received 530 upvotes. A comment from user Kolfman says, "NTA, keep doing it. Drive him crazy. Make him leave. He's an awful roommate. I would have done that sooner once I suspected he was doing that." This comment received 275 upvotes. A comment from user Mastered Mage says, "As someone with lactose intolerance, I can say that it can be more than a smelly inconvenience. It's really too bad your roommate took your stuff after all the effort you went through to stop him from stealing. I'm sure it ruined his day. That being said, hopefully it taught him his lesson, though it doesn't seem to have. NTA. You had to catch the thief. He played a stupid game and won a stupid prize." This comment received 28 upvotes. A comment from user NikkiGirl19 says, "NTA, had he not stolen your milk, then it wouldn't have been a problem. No one should think you're taw." This comment received 141 upvotes. A comment from user TheresaJaneHall says, "You gave him time to act like an adult and he kept stealing your milk. He paid for it. Maybe the roommates who can't stand him should see if they can kick him out." This comment received 97 upvotes. A comment from user Already Dead for Years says, "NTA, obviously. But I need to know more info about this part. I went to the liquor store and bought regular dairy milk. Is this normal where you live? To me, liquor store milk has sort of the same ring as diner lobster." This comment received 134 upvotes. A reply from the original author gotmilk_ says, "Pretty normal here. Every liquor store in my area sells stuff like milk, eggs, bread, canned food, etc. Or I guess you can also call it a convenience store. Lots of them just say liquor store though." This reply received 142 upvotes. A comment from user Kinthedum says, "He freaking exploded. He already had been doing that. Zing. NTA. Mostly. My only quibble, if you don't know the extent of his medical condition, doctoring with someone's food allergies, even if they are being TA, isn't a great thing to do. I don't think a serious lactose intolerance will kill someone, but I'm not a doctor. You would hate to have to explain this to emergency personnel. Yes, I know he had this food allergy, but he was being a jerk and I wanted to fuck him over. This guy sounds like a jerk. I hope he actually learned something from this and from his roommates leaving him. This comment received 318 upvotes. A comment from user Juabrudcastro says, NTA. It's perfect. You caught him and punished him with one move. I suggest you take this to R. Petty Revenge. This comment received 117 upvotes. A comment from user MorbidMoth42 says, NTA, as my husband always says, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Guy got what he deserved. This comment received 461 upvotes. A comment from user Good Queen Fluffin' Chop says, he freaking exploded. Both literally and figuratively. As someone who is lactose intolerant myself, NTA. It's his own damn fault because he's nothing but a food thief while being stingy with food with y'all. This comment received 75 upvotes. A comment from user Meg_Jeff says, my sister did the same thing to me. I know it sounds petty because she's my sister, but she kept taking my almond milk that I use because I'm lactose intolerant just because she liked the flavor. She has no intolerance to regular milk and also didn't ask me to have some. When I got sick of her lying about it repeatedly after continuously asking her to stop, I bought regular milk and curdled it by mixing it with vinegar over heat. She learned that lesson the hard way and I have no regrets. NTA. This comment received 46 upvotes. A comment from user Elva Holt says, NTA. I think it's perfectly called for. And I would tell him that you will continue doing it. Sometimes do it, sometimes don't. And that if you do have almond milk, regular milk has been mixed in it. Don't do it. Pretty sure that might be nasty, although you can always test the theory. And that you are putting milk, cheese and/or butter in everything you cook. Again, don't have to, hopefully. That keeps his mitts off your goods. After all, they are yours, and he had no business stealing. This comment received 59 upvotes. A comment from user J Winner says, NTA. He's been caught. When are the two of you getting paid back for all the food he's stolen over the past year? This comment received 43 upvotes. A comment from user Grandpa Joe Sloth says, NTA, and your payback is not going to lead to a long-term successful relationship with this roommate. You're definitely not an asshole. And do you have plans for finding a new place at some point? This comment received 23 upvotes. A reply from the original author Gotmilk_ says, we're already looking. Our lease won't be up for another couple months, so we're hoping to find a decent apartment by then. This reply received 29 upvotes. A comment from user RSIERPE says, how dare you honeypot me to steal stuff that will give me diarrhea? You're NTA here. Yeah, you knew already he was going to steal it, but he did it to himself by stealing. Serves him right. This comment received 11 upvotes. A comment from user Messrs Cohen says, you axe, he lied. I'm confused why anyone thought you were the asshole lol. This comment received 11 upvotes. A comment from user an anonymous user says, NTA. Good for you proving he was a thief and a liar. This comment received 34 upvotes. A comment from user Smiten4TW says, what I never understand is that after reading these posts where the op is clearly not ta, they'll end it with, some people said I'm wrong for doing it. WHO? Who hears this story and tries to side with the aggressor? This comment received 22 upvotes. A comment from user an anonymous user says, NTA. Harry Potter and the audacity of this mofo. So even after being caught red-handed he had the nerve to get mad at you? That's rich. PD. May I suggest R. Petty Revenge for this post? This is amazing. This comment received 17 upvotes. A comment from user Hungry Hippie 30 says, info what liquor store can you buy dairy milk at? NTA he deserved it and I hope both you and your nice roommate are able to find another place soon. This comment received 10 upvotes. A comment from user Mihelj_team WWB says, NTA. Fahahaha. You're quite the hero. This comment received 25 upvotes. A comment from user Hansful13 says, NTA if he was allergic I'd has said YTA but all you did was cause an uncomfortable day on the loo. And it was just because when asked he denied it so much. This comment received 22 upvotes. A comment from user an anonymous user says, "This is similar to a situation my friend went through in the girls' home I went to. We had bunk beds and my friend would keep her water bottle on the top shelf, right? Well, the girl on the bottom bunk would drink out of it in the middle of the night. Well, one night my friend put pepper seeds in the top part of it. The other girl drank it and started crying, rinsed her mouth out and ran to the bathroom tears of joy so no. You're not the asshole." This comment received 10 upvotes. A comment from user Bojack's Horseman says, "NTA but I'd go one step further. Make all your food with dairy so whatever he steals makes him sick and just as you're ready to leave replace his milk with real milk. I'd go full punishment on him." This comment received 16 upvotes. A comment from user Illith says, "NTA. Also consider buying your almond milk and putting it in the dairy milk container instead. Win-win." This comment received 12 upvotes. A comment from user Bill T999 says, "NTA. Drastic times call for drastic measures." This comment received 18 upvotes. A comment from user Blobfish_Blue says, "Man, your roommate reeks if entitlement. NTA if he wasn't stealing from you it wouldn't be a problem if you dosed all your food with laxatives." This comment received 22 upvotes. A comment from user an anonymous user says, "LMAO that was a great idea. NTA. No sympathy for the roommate, he was stealing. You repeatedly asked him if he was taking your food but he denied it." This comment received 14 upvotes. A comment from user Auto Moderator says, "Welcome to Am I the Asshole? Please view our voting guide here. And remember to use *** only one * judgment in your comment. Help keep the sub engaging. Don't downvote assholes. Do upvote interesting posts. Click here for our rules and click here for our FAQ. I am a bot. And this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit if you have any questions or concerns." This comment received 21 upvotes. A comment from user Squirrely_control says, "I'm lactose intolerant and that's all that would have happened to me. But the amount of lactose needed for a reaction and the reaction itself does vary. I've met people that get physically ill from the smallest bit of cheese and are impacted for a few days after and people who only get gas or mild diarrhea after a few slices of pizza. If you knew his symptoms ahead of time and then NTA. But if you were just winging it and didn't know how it would affect him then YTA. As long as you're still living there. You might want to switch it up and put your almond milk in an empty dairy milk container just to make sure he's not tempted." This comment received 27 upvotes. A comment from user Merthin97 says, "I'm going with Esh but roommate more by a mile. It's not as bad as an allergy but setting up someone who is going to react as badly as that is a bridge too far for me. If you just got dairy milk and left it in the container and he still used it, that's all on him." This comment received 76 upvotes. A comment from user Telephone Pridane says, "The problem with this sub is that it rarely answers the question properly. The question it answers is, am I right? And in this, yes, you're in the right. But that's not the name of the sub, and despite being right, this was still an asshole move. So YTA. Having said that, it's also hilarious and the schadenfreude is strong. So it was an asshole move, but it was like a Tony Stark or House kinda asshole move where we're kinda amused and impressed by it. A+. This comment received 199 upvotes. A comment from user Feisty_Tofu says, "I'm going with Esh. Roommate obviously more for being a lying thief. But you knew he was stealing, you just wanted him to admit it. You intentionally bought milk you don't normally consume and hid it in another container with the sole purpose of making him sick. That is an asshole move. Funny but asshole move. The non-asshole move would have been to just switch to cow's milk and leave it at that. He wouldn't have stolen it and you wouldn't be out of pocket for stolen milk." This comment received 11 upvotes.